It's been an exciting day so far. Take a look at some of the highlights that we've had. And of course, let me welcome you back to the second edition or the second phase of this year's SRC vetting for the presidential candidate. We had 4 candidates. 2 fell up for the morning, and then 2 are ready for the afternoon session. PDF, run us through the details.
Right, so shortly we would have Team Ben Essien joining us. This time I see movement. Normally is a team, but this time I see movement. Ben Essien movement. That will be the first to join us here for the afternoon session. And later, Team Stana would also join us here. With the Ben Essien movement, we have Benjamin Essien and Benedicta Owusua Opoku. Forming Ben Essien movement, and of course Daniel Hinaku Ofori and Chelsea Oluwani Femi Oshoro forming the Team Stana. So shortly we'll have Ben Essien movement joining us here for the interrogation. Remember that we're coming to you live from the Jane Opoku Agyeman Auditorium at the Amisa Arthur Language Center of the University of Cape Coast. So if you are around this location, you are at liberty to join us in the auditorium to have a feel of what is happening. But if because of 1 or 2 reasons you cannot join us, stick to your screen. We have a lot for you today. Keep your comments coming. And of course, intermittently, we would be reading the comment. But if you have not subscribed to our channel, this is the channel of choice, TV UCC. Subscribe to the channel. Hit on the notification icon so that you would always get alert on our update, and share the content for the world to get to know what we are doing here. So, Obi, to practice what they do here, the chair would ask us to introduce ourselves. So you will be the vice. You'll be the vice.
I don't mind.
But normally the vice is a woman, so. The chair. So the vice normally is a woman. And if you take the seats of the woman...
PDF, you see, we want to run away from such stereotypes.
Right.
Yes, like we had last year or last 2 years, where the vice was a male for one of the candidates.
Yes.
Yes, so I'm
New
rooting
deal.
for more
New
of
deal.
that. Yes, new deal. I'm rooting for more of that. So instead of me being a female and a vice, I think I'll stick to what we have, a male vice. Yeah.
Then you would have a lot to say about the use of contraceptives. The question popped up.
I don't think Prof. Che will ask me that question.
Prof asked, she asked the vice of one of the teams about the use of contraceptives on campus. By the way, have you used any of the contraceptives before?
Okay, so we'll hand over to...
the chair is not ready.
We'll hand over to the chair for her to continue the good work. We wish the second batch of the aspirants all the best. Or have you used one?
The contraceptives?
Yeah.
Oh, abstinence is contraceptive that I've been using. Quick one there. I talk about love and loud reasons, so I know what I'm talking about. You know that. Prof.
PDF. Don't let me take you on.
Prof, we're back. We're back. So we'll leave in the hands of Professor Mrs. Rebecca Demensa and her team to go on with the exercise. Stay with us. We'll come your way with a comment, right? Great. But be decent in the write-ups.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon once again to our listeners and viewers. And we are happy to have all of you here. Thank you for coming. But we want to say that, as usual, let's keep the talking down. We should be as silent as possible so that candidates can think. You know, it's a hot seat. Whichever way you look at it, you need some peace and quiet to be able to give the right answers. If you don't listen to me, I'll end up disqualifying your candidates. Yes, I have that right. So don't forget that. If you make too much noise, I'll disqualify your candidates and walk you all out. Don't try me. So I beg you, we are friends, Abby? So let's all keep our cool, and we'll have a very nice process. Right, let them come in, please. Yeah, you are welcome, please. Oh no, please, take a seat. You are welcome.
Thank you, Prof. Chair.
Are you comfortable?
Yes, please. Very comfortable.
All right. So for our records, kindly state your name, registration number, program of study, and hall of affiliation. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. Respectfully, my name is Benjamin Essien. I'm a level 300 student reading Bachelor of Laws, affiliate of Cameron Nkrumah Hall. My registration number is FL LLB 220029.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. My name is Benedicta Ousua Opoku with the registration number EH/ART/21/0054, and I'm reading Bachelor of Education at History Major, Religion Minor, and my hall of affiliation is SR4. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Benjamin, can you tell us about yourself?
Right. So please, my name is Benjamin Essien. I'm an enthusiastic team player who believes in sharing vision and experience with colleagues to make the society a better place. I'm a strong youth advocate and also a student activist. I believe in creating an environment that promotes equality, that promotes equity, and also make people have the best of life that they deserve.
Why are you here?
Prof. Chair, thank you so much. So we are here to go through the vetting process for the 2024-2025 SRC presidency election.
Walk us through your academic journey.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. I would love to start from my secondary education. I attended Senior High School. I read business. I proceeded to the University of Cape Coast. That is in 2015, where I read BA Social Science, Economics and Sociology. I then proceeded to do my postgraduate education in Master of Science, Public Policy and Management, right here at the University of Cape Coast, and currently reading Bachelor of Laws and in level 300. Thank you, Prof. Chair.
After this, what would you read?
I'm hoping to pass my entrance exams and be at Ghana School of Law.
Oh, okay. I have just seen that you were a member of the vetting committee for Kwame Nkrumah Hall in 2023.
Yes, please.
Which means that this process you are really familiar with.
Very familiar.
So I hope there is no pressure. And at any point in time, you can drink water or put your thoughts down. It is allowed.
Thank you.
Tell us about your presidency in Atlantic Hall.
Right. Thank you so much. So in 2018, I subjected myself to the good people of Atlantic Hall for the position of Hall presidency, and our vision was to create a new city. So we had a mantra called the New Era, where we had that in the new era we are going to see a very new city. So in our time as president of Atlantic Hall, we collaborated with the Hall Council to give a very good facelift to Atlantic Hall. As part of that, we saw the effect and also the essence of bringing together alumni to support the hall. So as part of our initiative, we met the alumni board And through our agreement and other things, till date, they go on to do a lot more projects in the hall, and one of them is renovation of 4 rooms. So my journey at Atlantic Hall, I was able to organize a successful hall week, because before my tenure as hall president, the university had issues regarding hall week celebration. And looking at the tension and the atmosphere then, we needed a strong personality to liaise between Mariners and also management to see to it that we have a very successful hall week celebration. And I do count this as part of my achievement, because this, I could say on record that it's one of the best hall week that we celebrated, and that for that there was no hitches, there was no chaos. And as part of that too, we saw the need to engage students and also establish a debate society in the hall. We had to take other initiatives that gives the ladies in the hall some skill training. So my vice president, through my vision, and also we engage others to do that. So basically, this was my journey, and I believe that after my tenure as Atlantic Hall president, we were able to serve the purpose of why we subjected ourselves for election for that position.
Are you trying to say that before your tenure, there was no debate society at Atlantic Hall?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. There was no established debate society in the hall. It was like when there is time for debate, we group ourselves, then we do. So through the collaboration of the then hall master and the senior hall tutor, we were able to put up a debate society, and it became recognized as a ring in the hall.
How do you know her?
So thank you so much, Prof. Chair. Benedicta Owusua Opoku. I've known her since last academic year, where she subjected herself for elections at SRC Hall. While I was monitoring the electoral process, I was also monitoring her activities, and through that, I got touched and I got closer to her. And that is how come I've known her.
Are you in a relationship?
Personally, with her or?
With her.
No, please.
Personally?
Prof. Chair. Grant me mercy. No. Thank you, Prof. Chair.
What are you hiding from us? It's either yes or no. Maybe you are in a situationship. That's what somebody said yesterday. Then the situationship. I don't know what that means anyway.
Probably I may get married soon.
How old are you?
Prof. Chair, please, I'm 28 years.
You are 28. And you don't want to confidently say you have a girlfriend or not?
Prof.
Or
Chair,
you are married or not?
I think that I'd want to.
Or there are many?
Oh, it's just one.
So you have answered the question.
Prof. Chair, you pushed me to answer.
Did I hear you say that you have a very strong personality?
Yes, please.
I see. Tell me about that.
All right, a strong personality in the sense that I'm using my experience in Atlantic Hall. While I was contesting for the hall presidency, the main thing there was that Benessian is a small boy and he can't lead a hall like Atlantic Hall, a hall that had its previous executives eradicated. And when he comes, is going to be probably ridden over by the hall management, the university administration, and the activities of students in the hall may not be promoted. But I stood so strong, and I was able to do everything that all other leaders that they deem fit, and of which they discredit me on that. And till now, my name still remains there as one of the best and strong in terms of dealing with issues confronting students with regards to management.
You don't have your personal details on the CV. And that is why I kept asking you, what is your age and all that. You have an address, though. And I don't like your CV. I don't like the way, you know, you said curriculum vitae of Mr. Benjamin Essien. No. So the heading should come, and your name shouldn't be part of it. And then, although there's some level of consistency, but I think that you brought a diamond. Do you remember your CV? Do you remember the sign of the diamond?
Yes, please, I do.
There was diamond at every point. I think it was highly unnecessary. You shouldn't have brought that. You have bullets at some point, but there are diamonds at every, and it makes it so clumsy.
Okay.
It isn't the best.
Well noted. I was thinking I was styling it.
Yeah, you have to look at it. Tell me about
Bibiniba Foundation.
Bibiniba Foundation, yeah.
All right, thank you, Prof. Chair. Bibiniba Foundation is an NGO that I instituted, and the main vision of the NGO is to help create a society that gives young people the opportunity. So as Bibiniba Foundation, we established it in 2020, and most of our activities has been in my hometown, where I grew up and I saw the challenges that I face. And I believe that my younger generation should not go through same. So for the past years, we've been donating mathematical sets and organized examination seminar for all BEC candidates. And I think the list number so far has been 655. We've done that for 3 consecutive years. We've also engaged in skills training, where we train people in beat making. We also did DSTV installation, fresh yogurt making, liquid soap making. We did this at Budumbram. We looked at Budumbram and looking at the economic condition at Budumbram. They are seen to be so notorious, but if you could probably get an opportunity of serving the youth there with the requisite skills that they may need not to engage in notorious activities, we believe that one could help. Also, as Bibiniba Foundation, we organize a career empowerment seminar at Nyakrum Senior High School, where we had career section with people with requisite knowledge in different subject areas. And I have even one of the students that enjoyed that seminar here with us. As part of that too, we have organized a program with Elikem Kumoji, Professor Esibu of Ideal College, and Vidok here. This program was for artisans and entrepreneurs, where we took them through financial saving ethics, we took them through branding and corporate marketing.
You kept saying we, you and who?
So Bibiniba Foundation is an NGO that I established personally, but upon doing so, I thought it wise and it's prudent that I may not be able to operate it personally myself. So I had to engage other colleagues who share in my vision, and now the foundation is running with no supervision from me.
I see. Why were you campaigning before the campaign period?
That is so unfortunate, Prof. Chair.
Unfortunate on whose part?
On my part. I must admit it's something that's it's not good. I thought that I was creating awareness at the diaspora community, of which probably the jurisdiction, the immediate jurisdiction of the institution or of UCC was not captured. I thought it was at the diaspora, but I think upon the communication from the Vice Dean, we saw that no, the immediate environment of the university could have its interpretation, not just from the literal way, but probably from the purposive way, to mean that we have the adjoining communities as part of the university community. So we did that on a wrong impression that the communities in there are not part of the university, and that if we are to create awareness there.
My friend, are students not there?
There are students there, but I think...
Tell me something that would not let me pounce on you.
Okay, Prof. Chair, we are very sorry for that, and we promise it will not happen again.
How much does it cost to have that banner? How much does it cost? The big one you did.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. The banner was given to me by benevolence of my mates. So I have those in my class who contributed in doing so. So all the publicity materials that you could see at the diaspora were given out as benevolence of my program mates who believe in my ability to serve the student front.
So it shouldn't happen. I said it to all the candidates, and I would say it to you. It shouldn't have. You have been a leader before, a JCRC president, so you should know these things. And everybody who has come here this morning, I know all of you. But you know, when I'm doing my work, I don't have friends.
Yes, Prof. Chair.
So it shouldn't happen. You would have enough time for campaigning. So in case you come back again, it shouldn't happen again.
Thank you so much, Prof.
In case you come back to UCC, it appears you really love UCC.
Yes, UCC is dear to my heart. Probably I would have my PhD here.
I'm wondering, have you not come because you want to be the SRC president?
Prof.
Have you not come back because of that?
It wasn't necessarily coming back to be the SRC president, but upon coming, I do also do other activities here in Cape Coast, and that has kept me here within the Cape Coast vicinity. I must admit that even with my postgraduate education, I started in Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, but fortunately for me, I had employment opportunity here in Cape Coast. I had to come. It was a regular program. I couldn't know how best I could continue, so I had to come and ascribe to programs here in UCC. I have to come to my alma mater.
So, what do you want to do for UCC students? You want to be the president. What do you want to do?
Thank you so much, Prof. Chair. Thank you so much, Prof. Chair. From the conversation that we've been having, it's clearly seen from my track record that I'm someone who has been in UCC for quite a longer period, who have been able to harness institutional knowledge and also have the prerequisite knowledge of issues affecting students. So I would want to be the SRC president who would create an SRC that is very formidable in responding to the needs and welfare and interests of students, and also creating an university system that is so much flexible for the student body.
You've said nothing. Welfare, flexibility, it's nothing. What do you want to do?
All right, so we are working on tackling the underlying issues affecting the ordinary students of the University of Cape Coast. One of the key items that we want to tackle is our academic policy.
Academic policy?
Yes, please.
What about it?
So in academics, what we would want to do is that mostly per the student handbook, if a student shows a course, you need to take a receipt. That is, let's say a fresh student, you take a receipt, and that receipt, you just take that of the examination. So let's take it as if I'm a student, and in continuous assessment, I had 9. I write exams, I get 39. Now, it's a receipt. I get the opportunity to write the receipt, and I'm going to write that off the exam. It's the continuous assessment contributed to my failure, and that we should have a look at that. So it's a policy that we are going to propose to the academic director, the Director of Academic Affairs, where we are going to consider that aspect of it, that if students could be given redemption of continuous assessment together with that of examination, so that we can have a very good, smooth receipt policy system. We believe that the receipt policy has a very great effect in the lives of our students, because their course will be graded as a 6-credit course if it's a 3-credit course. One of the key issues that we also want to tackle in academics is issue of registration. Every year, SRC has to compile a list of students that have not been able to meet the threshold of the payment policy. The academic policy is strict, and it gives explicit provision that students must pay their fees in full before they get registered. We believe that if the school fees that we pay is for one academic year, then the university, we propose to the university that we institutionalize the 50% fee payment policy, where students would be able to...
But it's being done, so it's no policy. Currently, students pay 50%, and they are allowed to register.
Prof. Chair, it's being done, but the issue in here is that it depends on the advocacy the SRC will push in. So we'd want to bring it as a system that is automated. So immediately you pay your 50%, you don't need the SRC to compile a list. What if we get public leaders who may not be interested in that? Or what if the university wants to go strictly by the provisions of the student handbook, then it goes to the detriment of. So as a student reading law and as a student with public policy experience, I believe that if these things are institutionalized and it makes part of the policy documents of the university, it's going to go a very long way to serve a very good purpose.
So your policy is...
So not limited to that.
I want to see whether I get you right. The first one is academic policy on receipts, right?
Yes, please.
So when students don't pass, they have to be given a redemption quiz and a redemption examination rather than receipt, right? Okay. And the second one is, did I get that right?
Okay, so the redemption, they are going to write the receipt, but in getting the receipt, you should afford them the opportunity or grant them the opportunity to also redeem themselves in the quizzes. Probably the cost of getting the receipt may not even be the exam score, but as a reflection of the continuous assessment.
But failure is failure. All failure
be failure. Thank you, Prof.
So if you don't study hard and you fail, why should you bother? Why should that bother you?
Prof. Chair, I believe that as an SRC, all students are not equal, and the intellectual capacity of our students, probably some students
That's why we have A to D. So if you don't even get a D, then you are not fit to be here.
Yes, Prof. Chair, that is very true. But one of the key things that we consider in this process is that there's a student who is a very good student, but probably in the course of the semester, while taking a continuous assessment, may not have probably was depressed, and true that the person failed the continuous assessment brutally. Now, exams come, the person probably performed so well in the exams, but could not probably get the pass mark. And that person is given the opportunity to write. Even if you write the exams and get 60%, you add it to your either 5%, you get 65, which may not probably be of a good thing. And we are looking at the cumulative impact. We want to create a system where even the ordinary students who have no hope would have hope with the SRC.
Do you know that if you are not well, you can ask that you don't write a quiz or an exam? If you are depressed, you are bereaved, do you know that you can ask that you would not want to write? I am doing this because I want to push you to bring your policies. What you are telling me is nothing really. Academic policy, registration 50%, which is being done. What do you want to do? Talk.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Chair. One of the key things we would want to do is to also consider the ordinary students with Obia BDD SRC.
Obia
BDD.
Currently, someone.
Obia BDD.
Obia BDD.
Okay. Some people are not using.
Prof. Chair, this policy was taken out of inspiration from our days here in UCC, where we had the SRC giving emergency welfare relief fund to students. This was given to students when examination is getting closer. There are a lot of students who probably may not even be able to feed themselves. So this policy would have a net, we liaise with the Office of the Dean of Students to have a food bank, where students, prior to exam, we set a committee. Students who may meet the criteria per the prescription of the committee and the experience from the Dean's office, we'll be able to award our students who are in dire need of food items or things to beef up their upkeep on campus to go so well. One of the things that we would also want to tackle is the SRC Entrepreneur Academy. We believe that SRC mostly organizes entrepreneur workshop, and it's organized for just a day or two. But if we have the conviction that we can utilize the Office of Design and Innovative Thinking Hub, that is DHub, to establish an entrepreneur academy where students will be taking through entrepreneurial skills regularly. It could be a weekend class 10, where for 1 year, students can engage in trading activities or, let's say, acquire special skills through the efforts of the SRC.
Any infrastructural development?
All right, with infrastructure development, the last time that we had General Assembly, the SRC made mention that the SRC is considering building SRC Hall Annex.
What?
SRC Hall Annex.
Hall Annex.
Yes, and I believe that this is a very good thing because the SRC Hall accepts greater good of students here, and it's housing most of our students. So if the SRC in previous years have seen the need to establish SRC Hall Annex, we are going to contribute to that. So we are going to make sure that we expand the financial muscles of the SRC through corporate agencies to get that done. We are also going to liaise critically with the university management to engage real estate developers to come and build hostels around campus. We believe that the capacity of students and the facilities available here do not meet the general requirements, or let's say do not meet the general student capacity, and hence there is an urgent and critical need for the university, or let's say for the school, to consider that. So we believe that the SRC a partner to development. And one of the key things we would also want to consider in regards to infrastructure would be the borehole project. Yes, I've been in UCC for close to 10 years. That is a decade. And you could see that at some point, especially when the exams is getting near, there is critical shortage of water in the hall. And Prof. Chair, I would want to take a cue from what your hall, Vaku Hall, did. Recently, the commissioned a borehole project. I believe that if this is championed by the SRC through the Dean of Students, table before the residence committee, table before the heads of hall committee, and also involve the JCL committee and see how best each hall would have a mechanized borehole to mitigate the challenges that we face with regards to water.
Okay, so academic policy registration, Obiabe Didi. The Obiabe Didi, you know the halls have food bank.
Yes, please. Some halls have food bank.
So, some halls?
Yes, please.
Not every hall?
Yes, I can talk of Kwame Nkrumah Hall. I don't know of the others.
Okay. So, is it going to add on to what the halls are doing? It's going to add on to what the halls are doing?
It's going to
complement,
yeah, it's going to just be an effort of augmenting. We believe that the muscles of the financial muscles of the JCR may not be able to probably serve greater number of students.
You're talking about the entrepreneurial academy.
Yes, please.
Then SRC Hall and next.
Yes, please.
Then hostels.
Yes, please.
Then boreholes.
Yes, please.
You are going to fund all this from the SRC accounts. Are you going to fund all this from SRC?
All right, so with the Obiabe Didi project, we have a nice way that we can fund this project. We believe that the SRC, let me commend this SRC for a good work done with the SRC chop box. So what we're going to do is that the SRC chop box, we are going to take it to another level where we are going to involve wholesalers, or at least those who are into the actual production of the goods. Now, we give them a good number of students populace, or let's say a very good number of markets. They have all our students as their market base, where the thing would start right from the beginning of the semester. So we entreat our students not to buy provisions from elsewhere. Now, what the SRC wants to do with this is that the part that the SRC would get would be in kind gesture from these entities, where they are going to donate to the food bank. And also with that food bank, we are going to get a committee for it, and it's going to have a rep of alumni, and that alumni would also beseech alumni to also contribute to that, and also adding up to that of the SRC. With regards to SRC Hall Annex, I believe that the loan that was contracted for the building of SRC Hall has been fully paid. Now the SRC Hall is now operating. They may need some financial commitment for their day-to-day running, but I believe that funds from there can revert to the SRC Hall and next fund, where the SRC can also do special fundraising. And also with time, we believe that as the SRC Hall now is, we can use that same process and also use the proceeds from the SRC Hall to build.
Are you a greedy person?
Never in my life have I been greedy.
Why do you occupy too many positions? Why don't you leave it for others to also have the feel?
Prof. Chair, I believe that at this time, we are in a very critical moment as a student front, and we may need students with the prerequisite experience, students with the prerequisite institutional knowledge and institutional memory, who understand the customs and practice of the university to take up a charge in building an SRC that is formidable in solving the issues of students.
Me, I know you're being me.
Perhaps I don't have in my reasonable contemplation to your view, but this is just...
So, Ben, I told your other colleagues that once you put yourself forward for an election, you become a public figure. And you don't have a private life anymore. And I can see your CGPA here. You started with 2.8. It's just fair that I do to all candidates what I did to the first.
Okay.
Then you moved to 2.9.
No, 3.0.
No, I'm talking about CGPA. Not GPA, CGPA. So 2.8, then 2.9. What I have in front of me is 1.9. But the truth is, I've just had a letter from your department that they are going to be releasing results. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ICs. You're being able to continue in this race with your Obiabe Didi projects will depend on the results that are released. So I just wanted you to know that. If we don't get the results by tomorrow, when we'll be taking decisions by close of day tomorrow, then we cannot do anything but go by the rules. And I must say that the letter I got stated categorically that we would receive the results tomorrow. So we are giving you the benefit of the doubt. As a matter of fact, we shouldn't have even vetted you. But based on that, we are going ahead to do that. But note that you can continue only after you have been cleared. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Chair. Thank you for benevolence.
I'll come to you later, but let me talk to Benedicta. Benedicta, right?
Yes, Prof.
Okay.
Chair.
Benedicta, I am very happy with your results. You started with 3.8 CGPA. Then you increased it to 3.9. And then another 3.93. In fact, in that semester, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 A's. You see why I don't agree with your policy? Your policy on receipts. You see why I don't agree? And then you came down. You came down to 3.7. But that is strange. You still have IC from first semester.
Please, it has been rectified, and now the CGPA for that semester is 3.91.
That's according to you. I don't have it. What I have is 3.7.
So
we will check again by tomorrow and find out. And then you have another IC this semester.
The results wasn't yet out, but it came yesterday, and it has been added to it.
Even so, you are about 3.6 with that IC, which is very remarkable, and I commend you for that. Now, back to the substantial issues. With that nice CGPA, can you tell us what you are coming in to do as the Vice President of SRC?
Thank you so much, Prof. Chair, for the question. I believe in capacity building. That's why I teamed up with Master Benjamin Asian Davis. And one issue...
Did you say Master?
Mr. One initiative we have on board is the Career Workshop and Mentorship Summit.
Career Workshop?
Yes, please. So with this policy, we will actually invite resource persons that are really specialized in their field of study to come and groom students about the various career opportunities that they can take up considering their program of study. And also, we will actually put bare the idea that of some of the postgraduate programs that these students reading such programs can offer. And also with the Mentorship Summit, as I stated emphatically earlier, we believe in capacity building, and we cannot do it all by ourselves. So mentorship is one thing that we can never overlook. The Bernisian administration will make sure we invite resource persons to come talk to students about various issues that bothers them, to help them take leadership positions and also be responsive to any social challenge, so that when they go out there, they will be catalysts for positive change in the society they find themselves in. Thank you.
Where are the resource persons going to come from?
Pardon me.
Ben, do you want me to disqualify you? So when I ask a question, let's talk.
Prof. Chair, we will actually liaise with the Office of the Dean of Students and DHub to actually get us some of these resource persons.
I have noticed that students don't make use of lectures. Or you think because we teach in class, we don't have ideas?
No, Prof. Chair.
You bring people from Accra and things and pay them huge sums of money when we have thousands of lecturers here.
No, Prof. Chair. As stated earlier, in collaboration with the Office of Dean of Students, we will actually invite resource persons. The resource persons can be lecturers or any other person that is actually specialized or an expertise in that field of study.
Please tell me the role of the SRC Vice President.
Thank you so much, Prof. Chair. According to the SRC Constitution, Article 8, Clause 4b, it states, and I quote, "The SRC Vice President shall act in the absence of the President." And also, the SRC Vice President chairs the plenary committees of plenary meetings of head of committees under the SRC. And also, the SRC Vice President liaises with the Alumni Office to foster a good relationship between the university and the alumni. And also, the Vice President coordinates all the activities that safeguard the interests of students with special needs. And lastly, the SRC President serves on the Congregation and Planning Committee. Thank you, Prof. Chair.
Walk us through your leadership roles in UCC.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. I actually aspired for the position of the SRC Hall Vice President on the ticket of Team Focus last year. Unfortunately, we came second. I've also served on the SRC Parliamentary Council as a majority member. And in my hall, I was the Deputy Minority Chief Whip for the SRC Hall Parliamentary Council.
What is the role of the Deputy Minority Whip?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. The Deputy Minority Chief Whip makes sure that all the members are present for their sitting, and also make sure that all the members are actually not parliamentary naked. That is, they are actually properly dressed according to the standing order of the SRC Hall Parliamentary Council. And also, we make sure that we deliberate on issues, we engage members to speak out about issues that is actually confronting the hall. Thank you so much.
You said you were vice president for who? Vice presidential candidates for who?
Pardon me.
You said you were a vice presidential candidate.
Yes.
Last year for who?
For Team Focus, for SRC Hall.
And it didn't happen.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so you don't put it there. It's a negative. The fact that you are an SRC candidate and you did not even win, so you don't have experience in the area. Do you understand? You are just a member of a team, and that team went through interview, but they were not voted for. So you actually didn't occupy the position of a vice president. True or false?
True, but Prof. Chair, I've actually occupied various leadership roles.
I haven't disputed that, but this very one, and unfortunately you have that as your first. Ben, this is your last one. You know me, you know what I can do. So please.
Thank you, Prof. Chair, for the question. I believe that even though we couldn't win the election, I've actually gathered a lot of experiences that can aid me to serve best as the SRC Vice President.
No, I'm not saying that you can't serve as a Vice President. You can. Anybody can. The fact that you've mastered courage and you are sitting here without having lunch alone tells me that you can. But what I'm saying is that when I look at your CV, the first thing I see is Vice Presidential Candidate, SRC Hall, July 2023 to August 2023. So I kept wondering, who can become a vice president for 1 month? You understand? And then you told me that you tried, but it didn't work out. And I'm saying that for your own good, don't put that negative thing as your first experience because you didn't gather any experience. Do you understand?
Yes,
you become a vice president when you actually occupy the seat. Please, do you understand?
Yes,
So it's just an advice. You can take it or leave it. But if I look at that, I don't think it's a positive thing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Tell me about your SRC vice presidentship in 2019 to 2020.
Thank you so much, Prof. Che. In my SHS, I served as the main girls prefect for my school, that is Jamna Kinton Senior High School. And per our school regulations, the main girls prefect automatically becomes the SRC vice president. And during my tenure of office as the vice president, we collaborated with the other executives to actually put on some of the initiatives on board. We actually instituted the debate society in my school, which I spearheaded. During my time as the SRC vice president, I realized that a lot of students in my school were facing public speaking challenge. And as a leader, I wondered how. And I got to know that we actually don't have an institution that trained students to engage in intellectual debates and writing. So I wrote to our patron, that is the patron of the SRC, and together with the SRC president and some of the SRC executives, we met our school mistress where we deliberated on the issue, and through our collective efforts, the debate society was actually instituted in our school. Fast forward, as the SRC vice president, I realized that in our school we were using the KVIP, that is the old form of toilet edifice in our school. In our school, looking at our current dispensation, it was a very disheartening incident because sometimes some reptiles and other dangerous animals find refuge in this toilet edifice. So together with my team, we spoke to the alumni of our school through our headmistress, and through our collective efforts, the alumni had applied, and they actually built a new toilet edifice for both the girls' dormitory and the boys' dormitory.
Okay, that's good. If you indeed did it, then that's good.
It's true, Prof.
Your CV is, I mean, I like the font, I like the way it looks, but it's very scanty. It's just 1.5 pages. And I'm wondering, if you have done all these things you are saying, why didn't you, so as the main girls prefect, you should have brought the things you did, you understand? As the SRC vice president, the things you did, this KVIP and all, you should, debate society. But you know what interests me? According to Ben, he revived or brought about the debate society in ATL Hall. And you are also saying that you brought the debate. Are you sure you did not compare notes?
No, Prof. We actually have a lot of skills in common. I love debating. He also loves debating.
I see. But you don't sing?
I can help, but I don't have a good voice.
Ben, you also don't sing?
I'm a backing vocalist.
You're a backing vocalist. I see. I think I will come back to you later. There are a couple of things I want to find out from you. But just drink some water and relax whilst my other colleagues interact with you. Now the next stage is where you have individual questions. So if the question is not yours, don't try to write or even whisper. If it's your question, you answer it nicely. Okay? All right. Thank you.
Benessian movement.
Prof. Chair.
I'll start with Benedicta.
Okay, thank you.
Benedicta, please pay attention to what I'm going to read. It's quite lengthy. What type of bachelor's degree may be conferred on any person by the university who has been unable to complete all the requirements for graduation on account of a long-term illness and has adequately completed at least 3/4 of their coursework to be done, with his or her current grades indicating he or she would have likely graduated successfully if not for their illness or incapacity?
Please, the question again.
Okay. What type of bachelor's degree may be conferred on any person by the university who has been unable to complete all the requirements for graduation on account of a long-term illness and has adequately completed at least 3/4 of their coursework to be done with his or her current grades indicating that he or she would have likely graduated successfully if not for their illness or incapacity?
No class. The person will be awarded with a no class certificate.
The person?
No class.
We have a specific name for that. That's what I want.
No class. No class. Do you know?
Look here. Let your gaze be here. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. Then we make progress.
Should I come in?
Yes.
Okay. It's called the EGRUTAT degree.
Hey. Abba.
Should I repeat myself?
Yes.
Did you hear me?
You said EGRUTAT degree.
EGRUTAT degree. But I'm going to give you fair because it doesn't include any class or distinction, just as you said.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, fair. Ben, your turn.
Prof. Chair.
The university library system, made up of the Samjona Library and 31 satellite libraries, is organized into 3 departments. The university library system, made up of the Samjona Library and 31 satellite libraries, is organized into 3 departments. Name 2 out of these 3 departments.
Prof. Chair, I may want to attempt.
Okay.
But I would say the e-library, yeah, I have just one
Yeah,
in an
just,
attempt. And the
Okay.
traditional library.
let me come in. They are Department of Collection, Management, and Technical Services. We have Department of Client Services. And then we have the third one, of course, Department of Information Technology and Research Support. Okay, so you got that wrong.
Hello, Benjamin.
Prof. Chair.
How are you doing so far? I was asking how you're doing.
How?
How are you doing so far?
Oh, I'm doing good.
That's fine. So, he seems rather distracted. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
I'm here with you.
So I'm going to ask you a question. So we are aware that the executive board, and by extension, the executive council can convene a meeting, a general assembly meeting. However, the student handbook also stipulates that we, the student body, can also convene a special general assembly to which it allows for, at least that meeting can be convened by not less than 50 students. Are you aware of that?
Yes, please.
Okay. So when that request reaches the table of the president, that meeting needs to be convened in within a stipulated number of days. Can you tell me the number of days that within which that meeting has to be convened?
5 days.
5 days, that's correct. Now to you, Ms. Benedicta. Say you are sitting in on a meeting for, say, Benjamin becomes president, and you are sitting in on a meeting on his behalf, right, as chair of that meeting, specifically a general assembly meeting, and you are sitting as chair. Can you tell me the stipulation from the student handbook on how many students are required to be present at such a meeting for a decision to be taken?
500 students, please.
Okay, that's also correct.
Hello, Ben.
Prof. Chair.
Yeah, please, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you? How are you?
I'm very fine.
Please. According to the University of Cape Coast Financial Regulations, Policy and Procedure Book, what is the process required when any self-accounting unit has the intentions of opening a bank account? Now, to help you, a self-accounting is a standalone entity in an organization, so it can be a department within the university. So if that department wants to open a bank account, what is the required process they have to go through?
Thank you so much, Prof. Chair. In an attempt to answer that, that entity must write through their head to the Director of Finance, through their head. So if it's the SRC will write through the Dean of Students to the Director of Finance, stating the intention to open an account.
Is that all? Because it's a process, and I want that process to the latter.
Okay, so I would also go by saying that upon the recommendation of the Directorate of Finance, they would forward it to the Vice Chancellor. Probably the final sanction for opening that account will be granted.
Please, are you done?
That is what I can say.
Okay, so your answer is fair. So you started from the request to the Director of Finance to the Vice Chancellor. So after the approval from the Vice Chancellor comes to the Director of Finance, he or she should forward it to the
said bank for that account.
Your answer is done, so let me give you the next process. So the Director of Finance will send it to the application to the Controller and Accounts General requesting for the approval of the opening of the account. Then from there, it will go to the said bank. Then from the Director of Finance will authorize the heads of unit or the Director of Finance will authorize the heads of final account unit to create.
I'm sorry, the answer was wrong.
No, it's fair. He had the 3 first steps correct.
Right.
But it's kind of 7 steps. So I'm giving you the rest of the steps. So you started with a request to the director, to the vice chancellor. That one is fair. Now the rest from the Director of Finance to the account general, then to the said bank, then the Director of Finance will authorize the final account unit to create, to create a code for the new bank account to be included in the Topaz software.
The noise is too much. Please, 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 let's have some silence. Let's have some silence, please.
So once that account is created and is added to the software, then the Director of Finance reviews and approves the new account code for the bank. So you had a fair answer.
Thank you, Prof.
Your question. Please have come. Please listen carefully. The Financial Regulations, Policy and Procedure for the University of Cape Coast states that all checkbooks not in use shall be kept under the custody of the chief cashier who shall record them in the register, and the accountant in charge of the cash office shall have the custody of the register. So all checks not in use is in the custody of the chief cashier. What does it say for checks in use? Please, did you get my question?
Please repeat the question again.
The financial regulations for UCC states that checkbook not in use should be kept. Please, you are listening. Should be kept in the custody of the chief cashier. Should be kept in the custody of the chief cashier. So if it's not in use, it's in the hands of the chief cashier. But then if it's being used, what should be done to that checkbook?
If it's used.
Yes, if it is in use.
It will be with the treasurer, the SRC treasurer, or the dean of students.
Talking about university.
The university.
Yes, please.
The director of finance.
Your answer is wrong. So all checkbooks in use shall be put in safe and kept under a lock and key. So that is the answer I was looking for. According to the financial regulations and policy and procedure for the University of Cape Coast.
This is my last warning. If you misbehave, I would disqualify your candidate and walk you all out. I want us to respect one another. Please, can you give the candidates another question?
Please, your question. All payments of expenditure of the university must be made through accounts payable and the general ledger using 3 payment methods. What are these 3 payment methods? Kindly give me 2. So all payments of expenditure of the university must be made through accounts payable and the general ledger and the general ledger using 3 payment methods. Give me 2 of the payment methods.
Through the banking system and
payment method.
Advising through the use of the purchase voucher. Thank you.
So the answer I'm looking for is funds transfer for inter-university accounts and third-party transactions, and system-generated checks or other means of withdrawal of money. Then we have any physical cash disbursement may be made from interest or payment of allowances.
Ben.
Prof. Chair.
Hope you are good.
I'm very fine, please.
Yes. Just relax, eh? All right. Have you heard of stalking before?
Yes, please.
All right. Can you give me 4 stalking behaviors that are considered prohibited according to the university handbook? Yeah, I said give me 4 stalking behaviors that are considered prohibited according to the university student handbook.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. But first, I would want to define what stalking is, and probably my definition would have embedded in it the process. So stalking is a way of creating an apprehension, causing fear to someone, and it could be done through unwelcome visits. It could be through physical assault or the use of force, and blackmailing or any other form.
Okay. I think you have mentioned some. I had blackmailing. And what again?
On welcome visits.
On welcome visits.
Then, so on welcome visit, that is going to the person's place uninvited and
yes,
regularly.
I know that one. Let's continue.
Yes, then also verbal assaults.
All right.
And the use of force.
The use of
force.
All right. You had blackmailing, right? You also had that's visiting someone without or his or her permission. That one too is right. But the rest are not there. So we have blackmailing, gathering information about someone or his family. We also have that's non-consensual communication, direct physical or verbal threats. And then, yes. So the answer is fair. Benedicta.
Prof. Chair,
Okay.
Respectfully, I'd wanted to say that in my eyes, I made of verbal assaults, so that could constitute the threats, the verbal threats. Taking cue from the Vice Chair.
All right, Benedicta.
Yes, Chair.
Please, I want you to state 3 sections that operate under the Directorate of Human Resources.
The senior members section, the senior staff sections, and the junior staff section.
Right, that's correct.
Benessian.
Prof. Chair.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so I believe you've read your student handbook, and according to the student handbook, the College of Distance Education, right, we have 2 main units, the academic units and the non-academic units. Now, the non-academic units are directed by coordinators who are responsible to a specific individual. Now, what I want you to do is name this specific individual that these coordinators in charge of the non-academic units are responsible to, and name 2 other units under the non-academic units.
Do you get the question?
Yes, please, Prof. Chair.
Okay.
I had it. Yeah, I would say the units include the admission units, the student support unit, the officers may be the head of those units. So I don't know if it should be their direct names or the...
It's a portfolio.
The portfolio. Right, so the head of business units, the head of... Sorry, the head of admission units, that is for the admission.
Okay.
So,
okay. All right. So the units under the non-academic units, you made mention of admissions unit, and you are right. Then the student records, you're also right. So that part, you're right. However, the coordinators are responsible to the the provost. Sorry, they are responsible to the provost. Are you good? All right, Benedicta. All right, to your
Yes,
question, it's good. Yeah. All right, so Benedicta, your question. Now, the university has committees and bodies on which the SRC is represented, right? So I want you to name the number of these committees in the, according to the student handbook. Give me the number of these committees, and with the exception of stating the residence committee, the timetable committee, the sports committee, the public relations committee, and the transport committee, give me any other 2 committees and their functions.
Okay. Please, I want to think about it a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, did you get the question?
Please repeat the question again.
All right, so I said the university, right, has committees or bodies that the SRC is represented, right, on. Now, I want you to give me the number of these committees as stipulated by the student handbook, the total number, and I gave specific committees that, with the exception of these committees, which are the residence committee, the timetable committee, the sports committee, public relations committee, the transport committee, with the exception of these committees, give me any other 2 committees and their main functions.
Foundation and Planning Committee and one, two, three, four, five. The committees are 7, and the committee, with the exception of the ones you mentioned, includes the Congregation and Planning Committee and Sexual Harassment Committee. The Congregation and Planning Committee actually seeks to plan about any convocation, that is graduation, ceremony, or other official functions that the university may hold. And also the Sexual Harassment Committee, they are in charge to help students that have been sexually harassed to seek for redress. Thank you.
All right, so the number of committees, it's 10.
Okay.
So you're wrong, and you said Sexual Harassment Committee and...
The Congregation and Planning Committee.
I'm sorry, that's also wrong. So you have Bookshop Committee, Library Committee, University Health Service Committee, Campus Security and Safety Committee, and Cultural Activities Committee.
Fair. He didn't get any. She didn't get any. Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. ACN.
Good afternoon, Prof. Chair.
Please, how are you doing?
I'm very fine.
Okay. On Tuesday, June 4th, 2024, His Royal Highness, On Tuesday, June 4th, 2024, His Royal Highness, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Bahrain, held a talk with Ghana's senior presidential advisor and special envoy for international finance and private sector investment. Now the question. Who is the senior presidential advisor and special envoy for international finance and private sector investment? Who is this person? Or what is the name of this person? That means the question is asking for the current presidential advisor. Current Ghana's presidential advisor. That is what the question is asking.
Presidential advisor. In specific, because presidential advisors, we have one on the...
It was very clear.
What is the name of the senior presidential advisor and special envoy for international finance and private sector investment?
Respectfully, I think it's the former presidential advisor that I may know his name. I don't know if he's still in office. So I may not want to mislead the panel. I may not want to mislead the panel since I'm not sure. So I'll take you from the panel.
So the name is Honorable Kenneth Nanaya Ofori Atta. Thank you. Ms. Owusua Opoku.
Yes, Prof. Chair.
Your question is to the context I made. The first one, should I go over? Okay, so His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Bahrain, held a talk with Ghana's senior presidential advisor and special envoy for international finance and investment. Now the question is, where did the meeting between Ghana's senior presidential advisor and the Crown Prince of Bahrain took place? So it is an incident that happened on Tuesday, this week, Tuesday, June 4th.
Please, can you help me with the answer?
Pardon me with the pronunciation of the place, since I'm not an Arabian. So it's Gudabia. Thank you.
Agenda for you.
Order in my court. So she'll give you another question, okay? She'll give you another question, okay?
Miss Owusu Opoku. Sorry, Miss Owusu Opoku. So this is a privilege for you. Which international organization headquartered in Washington, D.C., of 189 countries working to foster global monetary cooperation and secure financial stability? Which international organization headquartered in Washington, D.C., of 189 countries working to foster global monetary cooperation and secure financial stability?
My dear, if you know.
No idea.
Okay. So it is termed as IMF, International Monetary Fund. Thank you.
She gave her, what was that name? Something Kidder, whatever. You were shouting. We have given her IMF. Is that fair now? Yes. Thank you.
Hello. Tim Ben Essien.
Prof. Chair.
How are you doing?
I'm very fine.
Benedicta. How are you?
Please, I'm fine.
Okay, so you will take my question first. Benedicta will take my question first.
Okay.
Okay, good. So what happens when a group, for example, a hall, violates rules, but individual corporates are not identified? What happens when a group or a hall violates rules, but individuals are not identified. That is in the university.
Thank you, Chair.
According to the student handbook, please.
Can I have some minutes to talk? It will be channeled to the disciplinary committee of the university. Thank you, the Chair. It will be channeled to the disciplinary committee of the university, and per their sanctions, the sanctions will be meted out to the entire students involved.
Please come again.
Pardon me.
Come again with your answer.
The incidents will be channeled to the disciplinary committee of the university, the central disciplinary committee of the university. After, please let me come again. The hall council will actually sit and deliberate on it. If it is above them, they will channel it to the hall disciplinary committee. It will be channeled to the central disciplinary committee. And since the vice chancellor is the chief disciplinary officer of the university, they will make sure that the committee will recommend sanctions that can be meted out to those groups involved, and through the recommendation of the Central Disciplinary Committee, the sanctions will be meted out to the individuals involved, since we don't know individual.
That's very good. Very good. Benessian.
Prof. Chair.
So, as the SRC president, you received an email from the university administration, but the email did not copy the right authorities. That is the Dean of Students and then the hall master. What would be your approach to this situation? So you received an email from the university administration, but then it didn't copy the hall master and then the Dean of Students as required. What would be your approach to this situation?
Okay, please. If I may know the content of the email, because per the student handbook, if the issue is non-academic and a letter is sent to the SRC, it's copied the Dean of Students and heads of halls, or let's say the hall wardens or hall masters. So if I may know the content, if it's non-academic.
Situation, they have not been copied. So what would you do?
Yes. So it is concerning student policy, right? Concerning student policy, and then it has not copied the right authorities. So what would be your approach?
Okay, so as SRC president, since the Dean of Students superintends over the activities of the SRC, I would directly contact the Dean of Students, make him know of the said email that I received, or I could forward it to him and add descriptions to it that this is an email that I received from the university management.
Okay, so I'll give you fair for that. Fair, you could directly request that the one who sent it should add the right authorities. Without it, you cannot work with the letter or the content of the letter. I get it, but your answer is good. Fair. Yeah. So it's fair. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Who wants to answer first? So, Ms. Benedicta, I want to introduce a new program. A new program in the university. Please educate me on the format to use.
Thank you, Prof. Chair, for the question. Kindly allow me to. Head of documentation. Goals. Admission record. Hmm? Admission of is this specialized thing? Specialized what? Reading materials.
Did you get the question right?
Yes, please. Prof. Chair, it entails a lot of, so I want to get my thoughts together. Thank you, the Chair. Firstly, you will cite the head of documentation, the rationale behind the course or the program you want to introduce, the goals, if it meets the national problems that you want to tackle. Then you specify the type of degree. Then you come to admission requirements, the requirements process that entails to be enrolled to read such program. Then the program specification. Then you come to courses specification. Then the specialized reading materials that will aid in the teaching of the program. Thank you.
Okay. So you had some correct, but you mixed them up. It's a format, and this format has been given to you by the school. You have to follow this format. So because of time, I'm not going to give you all, but I'll mention it in order for you. So we have the heading of the document, the designated degree. Then after that, we have the program rationale, which you mentioned. Then we have the goals and objectives. You mentioned that too. And we have the date of commencement. After that, admission requirements and the rest. So that's good. Okay. So Ben is here.
Prof. Chair.
Under the same thing, but now I want you to give me the format for the review of an existing academic program.
Please, existing
academic program.
Okay, Prof.
The
Chair,
format for the review.
Okay, thank you so much.
Existing academic program.
Prof. Chair, if you could grant me some time so I put them together since it's a process.
So just give me 5. The 5 first processes.
So please, I would love to answer, but I would do, Prof. Chair, with your permission, I would want you to confirm if it's existing program or existing course.
I mentioned program.
Okay, thank you. So if there is going to be a review of an existing program, the first process would be heading of the documentation. Then you come to the designated degree, diploma, or certificate to be awarded. You get to know the rationale of that. You get to know the goals and objectives. You go to the admission requirements, program structure. You get to the course content. You get to the special. I think you said 5. So I
you mentioned 5.
5, yes. So I think I've done more than 5.
So you ended on
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
No, I mean your 5th point was
admission requirement.
Okay. So you followed the right order: heading of document, the designated degree, the rationale, then the goals and objectives. But the last one is supposed to be date of commencement.
Date of commencement. Okay,
so
thank you.
Benasian movement.
Stronger than appetite.
Okay. So I'll start with you first. Benjamin.
Okay, please.
My question is, education in the University of Cape Coast stresses on responsiveness to students' needs with compromising academic standards. Please, I want you to mention any 2 other areas that education in UCC stresses on, according to the Academic Policies and Regulations book. Benedicta, stop what you are doing.
All right, so the focus would be Prof. Chair. Prof. Chair, we apologize. So it looks at the career goals and also the interaction between the students and the course content and how best it can shape them for a very good future.
Please repeat your answers again.
It's linked towards career goals and also creating a system or education system that links knowledge to the required, or let's say the requisite national demand.
Your answers are weak. I'll give you a fair for that. The answers I was demanding was, I wanted you to talk about critical thinking and the value life of long learning. And then also the relationship between education and employment. So to you, Benedicta. A student may be officially dismissed or withdrawn from the university for academic and non-academic reasons. What is the student's fate? Okay, what is the fate of the student who is dismissed on disciplinary grounds?
Dismissed on disciplinary grounds?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Chair. That students cannot reapply to the university again for readmission.
That's right.
Miss Benedicta.
Yes, Chair.
How are you doing?
Please, I'm fine. Yourself, please.
I'm good. We're reading out demand 2 answers. Okay. So this is how it goes. I am the member of Parliament for Bekwai constituency in the Ashanti region of Ghana. What is my full name and what position do I hold in the 8th Parliament of the Fourth Republic of Ghana.
Joseph Osei also. Thank you, Prof. Chair, for the question. Joseph Osei also. Deputy, second deputy. Okay, thank you so much. The person is called Joseph Osei, Honorable Joseph Osei Owusu, and he is the first deputy speaker for Ghana Parliament.
That's right. So now to you, Ben. On the 28th of April 2024, Parliament of Ghana passed the Promotion of Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill of 2021, which is yet to be assented by the President. However, there are 2 sanctions attached to this bill. Kindly state the sanctions.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. The sanction of the bill, or the one that is it being passed to the President, or the sanction, the proposed sanction that is meant out for corporates, that those that will be guilty of its terms. So if you could,
clarity of the question, I will repeat. I said on the 28th of February 2024, Parliament of Ghana passed the bill. So the bill was actually passed by the Parliament, but it is yet to be assented by the President. However, there are 2 sanctions attached to this bill. Mention the 2 sanctions.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. From my background, I may say explanatory memorandum, because that is what is mostly attached to bills when they are being forwarded, but probably for clarity's sake and for the purpose of this, I'm finding it difficult in defining the sanction, or at least interpreting the sanction, because sanction here could be the punishment one could get. So if you could interpret the sanction to be, you could interpret the sanction either in its sense of, in its literal sense, or the purposive sense of what it actually is. Because from my legal background, if you say sanction, may mean something different.
It's no legal background accepted. Give him another question. The clarity. Another question. My people, are you there? I remember the Sunday school days. Put your finger on your lips. 1. So, Ben, we'll give you another question, since you want to bring your legal background into play.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. Probably this one could be one that I could best answer, but I just wanted to know so that I may not mislead.
Don't worry, we'll give you a clear question.
Okay, so another one. This is a riddle, and it demands 2 answers. I am the youngest Ghanaian male artist. Who am I, and how old am I?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. I know of photocopy as the young artist. Okay, not music artist, but...
I think I have to make it clear. I said, I am the youngest Ghanaian male artist, otherwise painter, not artist. Who am I, or what is my full name? And then how old am I?
What is her name? Young lady, I don't like what you people are doing. I'm very disappointed. You are the only group. I have said this about 4 times. Why? Why can't you do separate works? Would you be sleeping with him in his room when he has to make decisions? No, this is part of the training. Don't do that. I've said it times and again. I've changed the question for you. Why? Why? Don't put me on edge, please. Be disciplined. Answer.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. We are very sorry. I know the age to be 2, and the full name is what I've forgotten. He's 2 years of age.
Okay. So the name of the youngest Ghanaian male artist, as awarded by the Guinness World Records, is Liam Nanasam Ankra. And he's 1 year, and as at that time he was awarded 152 days old, not 2 years. So that's wrong. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so that's 2.5.
Asian.
Prof. Chair.
I think I will add my voice to what my chair said. We are really not happy about your behavior, and you are the only group that is not showing honesty. And I wonder how you're going to take this into leadership. The first group came here, they were so sincere, honest. The second group came, and you have come, and we have told you. And not once, not twice. In fact, if I have my own way, I would disqualify you right from here. So please, if we ask you a question on examination of practices, I'm sure you are going to say so many things, but you are demonstrating it right here. Right here. And you want to become the SRC president. Please. This is not fair. Anyway, what do you want to become one day?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. My dream has always been to be a lawyer.
Why do you want to become a lawyer?
I want to be a lawyer because I believe in promotion of human rights and also seeking justice for the society and also for the social, let's say, the weak in society.
Okay. So what actually inspires you in life?
My inspiration is to get people smile because of kind gesture I extend to them.
Great. And in your CV, you said you let me see exactly what it is. Okay, so you said I possess personal skills. When you say negotiation, you possess negotiation skills. What exactly do you mean?
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. Chair. I would love to tackle this from an angle where I was able to negotiate to get a program, a national program of national magnitude organized in Central Region. So that is the National Festival of Arts and Culture, NAFAC at 60, of which the proposed region to host were the Eastern Region, Central Region, and that of Greater Accra. Already, Central Region were blacklisted because we had the privilege to host the Independence Anniversary and also the 37th Farmers' Day Anniversary. So I was supposed to go with my boss. My boss couldn't make it, so I had to represent her. And on that negotiation table, at least trying to convince them to get the National Festival of Arts and Culture here, I used what we have in Central Region to attract the program to the region, and they fully endorsed it because we're already out of the list. per the explanation they give. And what I told them was that since it's something that is linked to arts and culture, if you want to look at the cultural practice of Ghana and the heritage of Ghana, you can't alienate the contribution of Cape Coast or Central Region in that. If you are going to promote culture, then it means it's also aligned with tourism. When you come to Central Region, you come to Cape Coast, we have the Cape Coast Castle, we have the Kakum National Park, Elmina, and a whole lot of tourist sites and attraction places here. So it's of great essence and prudence that such program is organized, and we've shown great leadership in organizing program of national magnitude. That is the 37th Farmers' Day celebration, and out of the 65th Independence anniversary. So that was how come I was able to negotiate and bid for Central Region to host the National Festival of Arts and Culture 60th anniversary.
Okay, good. So in your CV, I can see that you are the special assistant to the Central Regional Minister.
Exactly.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Okay, thank you so much. So as a special assistant to a person of such magnitude, you play personal role where but some of my roles is to help write or review speeches. I liaise with media persons and also handle social media accounts. I also undertake special initiatives and activities that she would want to embark on. So it's more or less a work that is linked to public relations.
So when you become the SRC president, or you are given the nod to become the SRC president, are you still going to maintain this position?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. I believe this position, it's not a station-based position. Whilst I'm here, before even getting to this place, I was able to undertake an assignment. So looking at the nature of the job where it does not demand you to probably be sitting in a particular office, but you can take initiative or let's say designate others to, or delegate others to act and work on your behalf, and with full endorsement of my boss, I don't see any contradiction to it, and that it's a great opportunity. And I may say in full honesty that I may not want to waive that, but I believe I could use that as an avenue to also help the SRC. I could use that to build links externally for the SRC. I could use that to get resource persons to help in attending SRC programs and also supporting the university at large.
Okay. So, assuming that you are running for, you are even going to run for this election, assuming that you get a nod to be part of those whose pictures and names are finally going to appear on the ballot sheets, and we happen to engage somebody who has a certain known affiliation with the opposition to come and run this election, would you agree?
Please, I
Let's
think
say the person is a special assistant to maybe the president, the former president, and he's the one who is going to manage this election. Would you be happy with that?
Prof. Chair, I believe that I'm going to be very happy because the electoral process is not something that is handled by one person, or even if one person is spearheading that. And I believe that this is student leadership, and it has no link with external political influence. So as a person who believes in going for the interest of students, I don't see any challenge with that, because you are a person first, and you become a student first before any other affiliation that you may ascribe yourself possibly to. So I have no challenge with even having anyone with any contra political view to that, because I believe this is purely student thing and it has no political infiltration.
So don't you think that there could be some conflict of interest? You are the SRC president, and a decision has to be taken that is not going to be in favor of your boss. Don't you think that there's going to be some influences here? Do you think you put yourself to a very tight situation.
Thank you so much, Prof. Chair. You've made me remember my sociology, where there is real conflict, where in real conflict means that you are in two sides, and both sides demand and let's say opposing interests. I believe that as a student leader, the best way to serve the students is to promote their interests, and that working as a student leader, I remove all apparels or anything that I have that may probably align me or let's say make me thwart my decision making or interest in making decision that would affect the lives of students, because I'm first serving the interests of students. When it comes to probably me working to discharge my official duties, I do that. But when it comes to student leadership or let's say addressing the needs of students, we are going to go critically to issues affecting students, and no other interest will be promoted. I believe that if I allow myself to be compromised in this regard, she may also have the idea that if one day there is an opposing interest with her and other person that I have affiliation to, I may also compromise on her interest. So in order to let my integrity stay intact, I have a responsibility to over 30,000 students, and I must protect and safeguard that responsibility.
So there's a saying that you cannot save two masters. Maybe you'll be able to do that. Maybe. All right. Earlier on, you said something about boreholes, and I wanted to know a little bit about it, a little bit more about part of your boreholes as part of your
okay,
your
thank you, Prof. Chair.
So how is it going to be done?
Okay, Prof. Chair, thank you so much. So the SRC would table before the Dean of Students to...
Please, just not the processes you go through, just the idea.
Okay, so we are going to champion it together with the heads of halls and also the JCLC president. So they could, and if they could also liaise with the alumni body and make it a flagship policy that each...
So what exactly do you have in mind so that they will sell it to the alumni?
What we have in mind is that before we end our administration, we should be able to lobby and get JCLC president through the hall.
Please, you are going through the... What is the vision exactly?
Okay, the exact
vision... We are going to put borehole here. We are going to do borehole. That's what I want.
Okay, so we are going to make sure each hall on campus gets mechanized boreholes. And this would help mitigate the challenges that we face and also reduce costs to the university, because...
If you look at the topography of all sites, I mean, how is that possible? We know VACO, Kwame Nkrumah, SRC, superannuation, but look at all sites.
Right.
Is it something which is feasible?
Yes, I would cite ATL, for example. ATL, when you look at the new dry lines area, that is the annex area. It has a very good land area, and
that place is full of manhole and drainage and whatever. It cannot be done there.
Prof. Chair, I believe right after getting through the gates, there are spaces there, and this mechanized borehole is not something that would require a huge spacing. They use drilling machines, so it's just something that would get to the down with a very little space. With Ogwa, they could possibly do it behind the hall. With Adeshe, even the Adeshe Gardens, they can do, because it does not even take space.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So maybe 3 more questions, and then we'll be out of here. I mean, I'll be done with you. Can you mention 5 ways that innovative, I mean, I like innovativeness. So can you mention 5 innovative ways that you'll be able to motivate your team to go along with you?
All right, thank you so much. Personally, my motivation is driven intrinsically. So I would innovatively and talk to my team and engage them in riding bike.
I'm listening to them. 1, what will you do? Please, don't do a lot of sentences. 1, I want very sharp, ideas. So
1, teamwork. 2, the use of technology.
Such
as computer computer, or let's say computer skills.
So
where if, let's say...
You give them computers, or you do what?
The use of, if let's say we would want to do something, and that it may not require all of us to move from wherever we are to come. So in organizing a meeting, we can even use Google Meet or Zoom. So it's a way of using technology
So you are talking about how you can do your work efficiently. I'm talking about motivation. Try to get the people to move along with you.
Okay, so one, we look at the interest in serving the students. So we prioritize the interest of that. We look at the oath that we swear to students. It's supposed to be motivation because we are compelled by the words of that oath to serve. We look at the missions that the respective executive body brought to bear.
Is that innovative enough? Are you not talking about old things that already exist?
I believe that if we are able to use it in a way that is going to benefit and drive them to work, because sometimes if you may have the vision, but upon assuming the office, you may not probably want to ride on the wheels of such vision. So if a president is being able to reiterate such visions to you through other ways, and look at how we can also serve the interests of students, get ourselves well placed. So through my links, I could also, if let's say it's national service placement and other things, we could work out and also negotiate on their behalf through the Dean of Students to also get them well placed. So all these may be external benefits that they may also get as part of working for students. So it may drive them and also push them to work so hard with us as an administration.
Okay. I'm not that impressed, but because of time, I want us to move on. You've done some economics, right?
Yes, please.
At least up to the fourth year.
Yes, please, Prof. Chair.
You remember monetary policy?
Yes, please, Prof. Chair.
What is it?
Okay, so monetary policy, if my memory serves me right, as...
your memory must serve you right.
Yes, and it will definitely do so. It's a policy that is issued by the Bank of, or let's say that is taken by the Bank of Ghana to regulate the flow of money in the system. And it may also probably, yes, that is a monetary policy.
So do you know about the monetary policy rate?
The monetary policy rates?
What we normally call policy rate.
Policy rates currently, I think it's around...
No, I'm not talking about, but do you know about it?
Yes, please.
What is it?
Prof, this is economics quiz.
The memory is not serving you right today.
I think my memory has been able to serve me right in defining what monetary policy is.
But the policy rate?
The policy rate is the one that, I think that is what the bank used to operate.
Which bank?
The commercial banks, and also that of the Bank of Ghana.
Okay, so Bank of Ghana, the central bank. Monetary policy rate doesn't come from commercial banks, comes from the central bank.
Yes.
So when that is changed, what effect can it have on the SRC's investment decisions? Because as a body, SRC will be reinvestment. So if the policy rate changes, is that likely to have any effect on your investment decisions?
Right. Thank you so much. Yes, that would have, Prof. Chair, that would have a magnificent effect.
How?
Because the monetary rate, or let's say, may influence interest rates. And its influencing interest rates may look at probably the returns on investment that is possibly the SRC envisaged, and also maintaining the value of money that probably, upon making such investments, probably we are investing it against inflation. So if monetary policy is rising and policy is declining, the interest rate is declining, and we are getting low value as interest on it, it's me.
Okay, so that's correct. So is there graduate unemployment in Ghana?
Yes, please, Prof. Chair.
How sure are you?
Per reading news and also some agitation on social media, it is evidence that there are some level of graduate unemployment.
Okay, so what is unemployment?
Unemployment is okay, it's where one is not gainfully engaged in things that may bring about money, but probably yes.
So when one is not gainfully, what do you mean by gainfully?
So
if I'm earning 10,000 and somebody is earning 2,000, which one is gainfully employed and which one is not gainfully employed?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. I believe unemployment or employment rates looks at the capacity. Let's say if you are a PhD holder and you are teaching in a private junior high school, look at it, you could see that you are not gainfully employed because that does not match up with your knowledge that you have and the level of experience. So you could say that you are not gainfully employed, and that's also that is also an aspect of unemployment.
Do you know how the Ghana Statistical Service defines unemployment in Ghana? Or somebody who is employed?
Prof. Chair, I may not know, but if, with your permission, if I could try, and if it's not permissible to, I would say, I don't know.
Okay.
Prof. Chair, can I try?
Yeah, you can try.
Okay, so unemployment, I would say, from my observation, that it's in the reasonable contemplation of the Ghana Statistical Service, may mean someone who is not on any paid job and is not doing anything meaningful that gives the person
okay,
money.
I think you have to revise your notes again because unfortunately your memory is not serving you right this afternoon. So you have to revise your notes again because whether the employment is gainful, and we don't know what you define by gainful or not, as long as you have something to do and you are earning some amount of income, you are employed.
Thank you, Prof. Chair.
So you are unemployed when you have sound mind, of the right age, you are looking for a job, but you have not got a job. Then that is where we can say you are unemployed. You must be ready to work, looking for a job, but you have not got a job. Maybe you have been looking for a job for the past 1 month and you have not got the job. Then we can say you are unemployed. You get me?
Thank you, Prof.
So irrespective of whether it is gainful or it is not gainful, you are still employed. If you have worked, you have engaged in some paid job for the past 2 weeks. In Ghana, that is how we define employment. I want to give you a certain scenario with this background I have given you. I want to give you a certain scenario and you tell me what is going to happen to the unemployment rate and also whether that is a true reflection of the labor market. I mean, as an aspiring student leader, you must be interested in this because students will graduate very soon and they will join the labor market. So what happens to the labor market is of a particular interest to all of us, especially student leaders like you. So let's say Kofi, or let me say Asian, is a recent graduate from UCC, and you have been out of work since last year. You have become discouraged, and you have stopped looking for a job. So with this, or if we have people like this, and we are computing the unemployment rate, is it going to cause an increase in unemployment rate, or is going to cause a decrease in unemployment rate, or unemployment rate is going to remain on the same?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. I believe I'm taking cue from the explanation you gave that the person is actively searching for work. So immediately we give up in searching for work, then it means that you are dropping out of the unemployment rate and it's decrease the unemployment rate.
Good. So that's correct. So does this give a true reflection of the labor market? So when the unemployment rate reduces, what does it imply? If we are told today that unemployment rate has reduced, what is the implication? Is it a good news or is it bad news?
Prof. Chair, from the scenario given and the answer I've given, of which is right, I could confidently say that it's not a true reflection because it has ended up getting most of actively, or those who were probably actively searching for a job, depressed, and they have lost hope in searching for such jobs, and they are now not classified under the unemployment basket by the definition we've given. So it may not be a true reflection.
So it means even though the unemployment rate has reduced,
it does not reflect in the
labor market is no better, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let me give you a second one. I think that will be the last one. So Benedicta is the sole breadwinner of the family, and she graduated. What's the program again? What's the program again? Okay, let me ask Benedicta this question. Yes. So Benedicta, you graduated and you got a job that paid you, let's say, 10,000 Ghana cedis a month. Something happened and you lost your job. And you got another job that pays you 3,000 Ghana cedis a month. Let's say that you were trained as, what's your program? Okay. Yes. So you have got an executive secretary position that paid you 10,000. You lost your job, and because you didn't want to stay at home idle, you engage yourself as a clerk, and you are receiving, let's say, 1,000 Ghana cedis a month, with the premise we have already established. Is this going to increase the unemployment rate, reduce the unemployment rate, or the unemployment rate is going to stay the same?
It will decrease the unemployment rate.
It will?
Decrease the unemployment rate.
Why?
Because the person is actually having a source of income.
So if you, the person is, come again?
Having a source of income.
The person is having?
The person is having a source of income, and the person is actively involved working. So
unemployment rate will what?
Will decrease.
Will decrease. Okay, so that's not the answer. That's not the answer. Unemployment rate is going to stay this. Yeah?
Prof. Chair, if I could possibly bail her out, because
you cannot.
She has a background in economics.
No, you cannot bail her because she is aspiring to be a leader. And what we are doing here is, I'm achieving three things. First, your leadership skills. 2, your ability to think on your feet, because as leaders, there may be situations where you wouldn't have time to go and sleep and think about it. You will have to take decision right there, and it must be close to accurate. 3, your economic literacy level, at least if you want to become a leader, you must know something about the economy.
Thank you, Prof.
So you
for
can't
education.
say that I'm reading arts, I'm reading science, so anything about economics, I'm not interested. It's very important. Okay? All right. So let me ask you maybe my last question, Vice Chair. Okay. So I want you to tell me how you're going to resolve. Tell me the conflict that is likely to arise in the scenario I'm going to give you, and how you resolve that conflict. So let's say you have been elected into power, you have the other executives, and there's a struggle for power, or power struggles. What conflict is likely to arise from that, and how are you going to resolve this?
Prof. Chair, kindly take the question again for me.
So we assume that you have been elected into power as SRC president and SRC vice president. You have other executives you are working with, and there is a certain struggle for power. within the SRC leadership? What conflict is likely to arise, and how are you going to resolve this conflict?
Please, it's intra-group conflicts.
So the conflict is within the SRC
Within the
leadership,
SRC.
yes.
Yes, please. It is intra-group because we are all parts of the SRC, and there is struggle for power between or among the SRC leadership. So how we are going to solve this issue is we will actually call for an executive meeting, and we will know those involved in the conflict. So we will actually ask, because we have to listen to both sides, and if the matter is beyond us and we can't settle it among the executive council, we can channel it to the appropriate organization, appropriate institution.
All right, thank you.
As a vice president, if the president travels and then you find a discrepancy or any irregularity in the SRC accounts, how would you deal with it?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. Please, since the treasurer is actually in charge of the SRC accounts, I'll actually call him and we will organize an executive council and we will actually caution him. If he doesn't give accurate accounts about how that discrepancies occurred, we will channel it to the Dean of Students, since he is the principal signatory of the SRC accounts.
What is your take on corruption?
Okay, corruption is something...
What is corruption?
Okay, corruption is actually giving something in exchange for a benefit. As in, you are...
That is your explanation of what corruption is. Giving something in exchange of something. So if I give you this
for
in exchange for your pen.
For a favor.
What is your take on corruption?
I believe corruption is a national canker that is actually impeding on our progress as a nation. So I actually think it's something that we need to eradicate from our society.
How do we do that?
Okay. Please, Prof. Chair, thank you for the question. Can I think about
Tell me. You don't have to write anything. How do we do that?
Okay. In dealing with corruption in the country, I believe we have to institute or initiate or establish an institution that will be in charge in mitigating against corruption.
But we have it.
We have the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
So what office again?
I believe that the Office of the Special Prosecutor doesn't have any checks. It's not regularly checked, and we need...
Are students corrupt?
To some extent, yes.
Are you corrupt?
No, please.
What you did today shows that you are corrupt. And I'm now doubting all the A's you had.
No, thank you, Prof.
What do you have to say to that?
I actually worked and studied hard for the grades that I actually attained.
Did you study hard for this interview?
Yes, please, I did.
So you should have concentrated on what you have and forget about the rest.
Yes, please, thank you. I'm really sorry for what transpired today. I actually thought it was a teamwork, and since we are a team, I was helping him out.
Did you hear my announcement on questions?
Yes, please, and
so why would you say that?
I'm really, really sorry, and we sincerely apologize. It will never happen again.
You, what is your take on corruption?
Prof. Chair, I may not deviate from a take on corruption, and that I ascribe to whatever reasons she has stated. So my take is that corruption is not a good thing, and it wrecks a nation.
And that is how it starts. Small, 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 small. Ben?
Prof. Chair.
Never again.
Never again, Prof. Chair. Thank you so much.
So my final question, if you are faced with pressure to take a decision that will affect students, but will help management, what would you do? There's a decision you have to take. It will affect students in some way, but it will promote the university and help management. What would you do?
Thank you so much, Prof. Chair. As I stated supra in my early session, I said that the mandate on which we serve on is that of students, and that we are aimed to promote the key interests of students. So anything that would deviate from such mandates would make me a failure, because in the eyes of the student, I'm a president because the student made me president, and not because management made me president. So everything I do must be in the interest of students. However, in some way, there could be a balance where management would also, because I believe SRC is partner in development. So if SRC could help management in a way that would not be at detriment of students, that would be fine. But in any decision that would make students be at detriment, Prof. Chair, I'm sorry, I may not side with management.
So there's a huge fight between Christians and Muslims on campus. How are you going to solve it?
Thank you, Prof. Chair. Conflict resolution. Since it's a religious thing, there is this culture and religious committee of the university. So I would, as SRC president, I need to call the leadership of both ends. That is the religious, the Muslim council president, that the Christian council president, if they so have leaders. We sit with them, look at how the university is a secular university and how we share common goals. And we are not here to promote one particular religious interest. If it goes beyond that, then I believe that the appropriate measures must be taken where the Dean of Students would be highly involved in making sure that we resolve that. But in basic conflict resolution, it's prudent that we are engaged, or let's say, as my capacity as SRC president, and also servant of the student front, I would also have a little bit of influence, if not a large extent, on them. So upon engaging them on that and making sure that we draw lines and say, if probably it's about a particular thing that, let's say, about use of a congregational ground, like the one here, if it's about getting them an alternative for it to resolve the issue, I believe that one could be done to resolve that. So we look at the root cause of the issue and look at how best we can tackle that. Thank you, Prof. Chair.
Do you have any weakness?
Prof. Chair, I do have weakness.
And what is that?
Prof.
Talking
Chair,
when you are not asked to talk.
Prof. Chair, my weakness would be that I am too generous.
Anyway, for your punishment, you have just 1 minute to speak to your audience. 1 minute. If you go beyond that, -10. 1 minute. Speak to your constituents. Tell them what you want them to know.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone here. I'm really overwhelmed. The Benesse movement is overwhelmed by the number of people in this auditorium. It does make us believe that we share in our vision, which is embedded in it, a mission to serve the student front that is focused on tackling the urgent issues that we are facing as students, where we are going to put up a structure as SRC and also make sure that we make or create a university that is so resilient and also flexible for matters that affect students. So thank you so much for coming, especially my brothers from the law faculty and everyone who has, from time past, be so much involved in the Ben-Asian movement. We are so grateful. And Prof. Chair, with your permission, if I could raise a song. I believe we've been here for quite long and we are a bit tension, so we could raise that song and Prof. Chair, with your permission again, can I stand up?
Short song, because
okay,
you are angry.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. Ave Mary, Unyame Boseno, Ave Mary, Unyame Boseno, Ave Mary. Thank you, Pastor.
When you go out, make sure you don't make noise. We have another candidate coming in, so you minimize your voice so that we can continue. Thank you very much for coming. You will hear from us in due course.
Thank you, Prof. Chair. We are very grateful for your generosity. We are very grateful for your generosity and also tempering justice with mercy. God bless you, Prof. Chair. Thank you.